Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick look at icons, and we are going to implement a little heart icon into this button. Now, in terms of these glyphs that we have, it's extremely important to realize that icons, let's say you're using 20 icons on your site, it's really important not to load in 20 different images. The reason being is that we generate more HTTP requests. So if I bring up the network tab here and give this a refresh, we're using an icon for the responsive nature of the navigation, which means that we have the little icon when we resize. So we've got this little icon here. Now, if we were using 20 icons, we'd be generating 20 additional HTTP requests, which is really going to slow down our site. Instead, we load in where are you? Let's go ahead and pull up our file here. We load in this image here, and you can see this is the one you were using for the menu, and this is called a CSS sprite sheet. So it means that instead of loading in all of the images, we're using one image and then we're just choosing where this is. So this here we could sort of muck around with. Can you see that that's moving, and we're bringing in a new icon? And all of these icon classes just have different background positions, and that just puts the icon that you want in place. So I want to add an icon, and this is how flexible Bootstrap is. I want to add an icon just before this. So let's go ahead and bring up my code, and I'm going to say in here, I class equals icon heart. Refresh, and there we go, we're done. Okay, so we've now included the heart icon, the black heart icon, in here. Now I don't want that to be black, so I can just say icon white. So we're sort of switching from the black sprite sheet to the white sprite sheet, and there we go, we've got a white icon. So this is brilliant. I mean, you can download icon packs, or glyph packs as they're called, anywhere really. So you can implement whatever you want into your site. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. But you know, it's just one of them things that's extremely easy and fast as well, because you're only downloading, you know, a couple of images rather than the 20 images that you might be using for different icons. So these can be implemented anywhere. So let's say I just wanted like you know, an icon next to a header here or up here. It can be done. The alternative option is to have a font file which contains icons within the font file, and you have specific characters that resolve to these icons. I'm not an expert on fonts and everything like that, but they are extremely easy to implement too. But if you're just using Bootstrap to sort of mock everything up, or you want these small icons, that's it. That's as easy as that. Right, so we're now going to implement a navigation list on the right hand side of our page. This is just one of the elements that comes nicely styled with Bootstrap, but there are loads of different navigation options, so you can go ahead and check them out, sort of experiment with the markup. But we're just going to be creating this on the right hand side where we have our sidebar area. So let's go ahead and do that. At the moment we've just got right, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Naturally we have an unordered list. We need to give this a class, so we're going to say nav and nav list, and inside of here we are going to create our list items. Now we have a header, we have normal list items, and then we have a divider. So we can say li, and we'll set a class to nav header, and then we'll say our services. So this will end up looking like this. So it will just be like this small, slightly lighter, how can I explain? Small, slightly lighter, capitalized text. Okay, so let's go ahead and create some menu items here. So I'm going to say li, and inside of here we're obviously going to have an anchor, and I'm just going to say overview, which I would just assume that is the page we're on. Remember earlier we spoke about the active class. Well, that applies to here as well. So we can do that. Let's go ahead and copy and paste this down, remove active, remove this, and say web development, and then we'll say web design and just do like dry cleaning. Cool, so let's go ahead and preview this. So we've got a selected item, which is sort of masked in blue now. And then we've got these additional items, which when we hover, we have this sort of hover background change as well. Let's go ahead and now create another list item, but this time we're not going to add any anchors to it. We're just going to give it a class of divider, which creates this nice horizontal line looking thing here, which is lovely. And then underneath we can, just carry on and create list items as we need. So I'll just say something like one more. Lovely. So we have, in this series, mocked up a really nice looking site. The reason I'm not going to extend this and create additional features is simply because the documentation's there. It's super simple to get going with this. There are a few hidden gems and combinations that you might not think would work. So for example, we've got this sort of well class, which allows us to create everything inside this sort of nice smooth cornered. I think we've got a bit of shadow there, it looks like. Yeah, we've got sort of an inset shadow. And, it's things like this that we can combine and make look nice. But it's really all about experimenting. If you're going to use this for a site, go ahead, play around with it. Otherwise, if you're just sort of prototyping with it, again, it's just equally as useful. And it doesn't take long to learn at all. You could probably pick up all this stuff in a couple of days. But I hope this introduction has been helpful. And I hope it's demonstrated how easily and quickly you can build a site with the Bootstrap CSS framework.